We'll have to see what happens because I was like, this will just be a short-ish one. Last time I said that, I was like, we recorded for an hour and 45. But I think we'll be good.
Yeah, we'll see.
We will see.
It's called the
Sarah
Sarah K. Joanna V. Time Continuum.
It's the podcast that Shrewd Serpent warned you about.
Welcome to Biting All the Apples, where two gals discuss one radical book.
The best-selling critical and comedic masterpiece from 1895, The Woman's Bible by Elizabeth Cady Stanton. I'm Sarah K.
I'm Joanna V.
And we're back together.
I missed you.
We belong together.
We belong together.
We belong together
Like sha-la-la-la-la-la, ding-a-da-ding-da-dong. Bang, bang, ching-a-da-ching-cha-ching.
Yeah, we belong
Just
together.
like that, we do.
Just like that. Just like peanut butter and jelly. Just like Abbott and Costello. And just like feminism and Christian deconstruction.
Oh my gosh, that's the best one. Stuck like glue.
I'm stoked to be here because in this episode, we are finally going to crack open the mysterious and very hyped by us appendix to the Woman's Bible. It is so full of new names, or new to us.
New to us.
New to us.
Not in the Women's
And
Bible.
as far as we know, it's new to y'all too because we don't hear anything about the names in the Women's Bible. Let us know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and it's so full of these names that we can't possibly contain it all in one episode. So what we're going to do today is we're going to start with the selection about the 1896 National American Women's Suffrage Association Convention, where our hero, Elizabeth Cady Stanton, and her Woman's Bible were censored. Yes!
It was big time, too.
It was big time. And I love it because she just bustled up and said, cool, I'm going to finish the second part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Suckers.
Yeah.
Losers. Suckers and losers.
Suckers. So, yes, we're going to be about suckers and losers. And we thought we'd start with the drama first.
Mm-hmm.
We thought we'd begin at the end of the appendix. I got it. I got it out.
That's it. She pulled it right out of the gut.
I did, yeah. So we're going to do a quick little catch-up and then get into all the Victorian treachery right after we ensure there will be no such thing on our end, thanks to these disclaimers.
Listen carefully. Biting All the Apples covers analysis of religious texts. Some listeners that are religious, out of the need for the illusion of certainty, may find the content offensive. So turn it off now. Okay. Biting All the Apples also discusses historic texts and feminist movements. We recognize that individuals, groups, and alternative movements have been left out of the mainstream history. We will note that whenever possible, we are open to additional information provided to us in the spirit of expanding knowledge. Who needs sound effects? We're amazing.
That was your little flanger.
I think it's the pop. I think it's the pop.
It was the pop rocks. Yeah, so what kind of candy did you take from your kid?
All the peanut butter cups. Kids don't like peanut butter cups. At least her group.
Isn't that weird?
They threw them all in the middle. They were doing the trade in the middle, all peanut butter cups. And I was like, I wanted them all, but I was like, I'm just going to take a few. But there was a lot.
I don't want to set a bad example. Why do
I'm
they not?
still thinking about them.
You're like, I'm thinking about all those peanut butter cups I left on the table.
Man. Yeah.
I mean,
I love peanut butter cups.
I like that most kids don't like the young ones. They don't like candy, like chocolate candy that has nuts in it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So,
I wonder if it's like
it's a texture thing or something. Also, I heard that kids, what's popular for sweets changes through the decades.
I know. She
so
was
it's like
telling
sour candy is now the.
Because we had a little meltdown, not meltdown, but
We had a little meltdown.
The end of Halloween is very tired and we had done all the separating, and usually Dad gets all the Tootsie Rolls. Well, Dad wasn't there, and I wasn't thinking about him, and they separated. They had the middle pile of what nobody wanted, and it was like Tootsie Rolls and Reese's Pieces. Well, I was like, Reese's Pieces and peanut butter cups, and I took them. Well, then Dad was like, "Where's the candy?" And she was like, "I didn't save any of the Tootsie Rolls." And she's like, "Nobody likes Tootsie Rolls anymore." And I said, "Well, that's not true because your dad likes Tootsie Rolls." And she said, "No young person." And then I immediately thought of Mary Jane's, which nobody liked Mary Jane's, right?
Yeah.
And my dad always wanted them.
Yeah.
But now I'm an adult and I'm like, nobody gives out Mary Jane's. And I ended up liking those.
I was just going to
So
say.
she's going to have a Tootsie Roll
She's going to have a
revelation.
Thing. I was going to ask if Tootsie Rolls are like the new Werthers. Do you know how the different candies you age?
Yep, Tootsie Roll. It's an old one.
I like a Tootsie Roll. I love a Tootsie Pop.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, those are great.
Oh, my God. Best of both worlds.
Yeah. Okay, so this is a senior citizen podcast sponsored by Tootsie Roll.
Tootsie Roll.
But that's because we did the Tootsie Roll.
Let me see the Tootsie Roll. I don't even remember the words. That's how old I am.
I think those were the days where those were the words, I think.
Yeah, that was it.
Kind of.
Just the Tootsie Roll.
I think it was Tootsie Roll, OPP. No, I'm kidding.
You down with OPP?
So, yeah, it's been a minute since we got together.
I know, but I really liked your solo. It was really nice.
Oh, thank you.
I do.
I could talk about Victorian Gothic stuff, but it was really interesting to hear that about Sojourner Truth. We're going to go check that out.
I mean, it's right
Harmony.
here. We have to go.
Or Harmonia.
Harmonia. Even the name is amazing.
I know.
Yeah, like I am down.
Yeah. She's buried here.
I know.
In Battle Creek.
I had no idea. None. And it's right there, so we have to go. We are going.
Yeah. In fact, we can go right now.
Let's. Sorry, we gotta go.
Gotta go to Sojourner Truth's grave.
Turn it off.
We'll talk about this a bit today, and then enough to go for 50 million more mini episodes. But I was looking at some of the women that were mentioned, what these Victorian women did with their lives. Mm-hmm. I'm like, man, before they had TV.
Right?
Amazing stuff. All these women, they're like, she was an abolitionist and a scientist and a journalist and a poet and president of the Arkansas Women's Voting Club. Yeah.
And I'm like, I went to work and I bought a dinner.
Exactly.
And I did not fall asleep before my child. Yay!
Yay! We're like, that was amazing. Getting into this appendix part. The appendix is a series of letters that were written to Elizabeth Cady Stanton when she posed these two questions. I have these here.
Oh, good.
Have the teachings of the Bible advanced or retarded the emancipation of women? Mm-hmm. Have they dignified or degraded the mothers of the race? Mm-hmm. So she posed those two questions, and then letters came in, and they are... Some are fantastic. They're interesting. So, and it was all these like smarty pants, super accomplished women. Most of them I'd never even heard of.
No.
So
no.
And so,
but that thoughts were like people at that time were. It appears as though at that time they were like just this was the issue, and people were ready to talk about it.
Yes, yes, and that is where. Even though Joanne and I are like, the appendix, we're going to do an episode on that. But there were so many letters. And then when we look up the women that wrote them, I'm like, those could be individual mini episodes. So that's what we're going to do with that. So fast forwarding to the end of the appendix. And this is where, at the convention, was an 1896 convention. As I'm going through the National NAWSA, National American Women's Suffrage Association, where they were proposing to kind of like disown the women's Bible. So we were talking about how Elizabeth Cady Stanton, like she had reached this point. This is the crux of it. We're talking about people coming to political realizations at different times. Mm-hmm. And so Elizabeth, she was what did we say, 80 when she wrote? 70.
80. I think she was in her 80s.
She was doing this women's Bible project. And the younger women getting into women's suffrage, a lot of them were, very Christian or, they were into, it was Prohibition movement, the, what's it called? Starts with a T.
Oh, yeah.
Tolerance, not temperance.
Temperance.
I'm like tolerance.
Tolerance.
I'm not into tolerance. So everybody was approaching it different ways. And so you have Elizabeth, who had been what, like about 40 years?
Yeah. Yeah. 36.
For suffrage.
I was looking at 36.
And that's why it should say something, ladies, that after all that time, she was like, you know what the real root issue is? This fucking Bible.
Yeah. Because she had been before. She had
Yes.
fought all these fights in front of these men, been in the halls of Congress.
Yes.
And she's like, here it is, ladies. And these young ladies are like, I don't like that.
Yeah. But Elizabeth's like, I've gone to say we need like these property rights, these marriage rights, this. And what do all the men do?
Point to that Bible.
Exactly.
The word of the Lord.
At this convention, the more conservative women were like, we don't want to like freak people out about our movement, you know, because maybe there's conservative women and we don't want to like, there's a lot of Christians and they'll get mad. That's my short story.
And that was just within them. So they wanted to write a resolution and they made it very specific and very catty.
Will you read that resolution for us? This is in the appendix. You're like, this pisses me off.
It really does, because the way it's written is just so ridiculous. They wanted the resolution to be voted on, quote, that this association is non-sectarian, being composed of persons of all shades of religious opinion, and that it has no official connection with the so-called, quote, woman's Bible, unquote, or any theological publication, period. So they wanted to add that to their conventional language.
Exactly. And so we know that this, first of all, they turned that down. Spoiler alert.
But not by much.
Not by much. That's why I'm like, this would make a really good movie.
Oh my gosh, it would be great.
You could do like conclave style.
Oh, yes. Girl. Shh. Don't talk about it anymore.
Actually, it's good to talk about. So
Jane Fonda.
Oh my God.
Who else we get in there?
You know who I want is Elizabeth Cady Stanton. I want like Ellen Burstyn. Is she too sexy?
You don't want sexy because she's just...
Helen Mirren. She's sexy too. All these ladies are... Well, all these Hollywood ladies are sexy.
Well, honestly, powerhouses are sexy.
Yeah, so...
You know?
We're not going to get her on the sexy thing.
Yeah.
So, anyways, we'll cast that.
Yes.
But we would like to propose that as a thing. But imagine if they would have been like, yeah, this is part of women's liberation. And this is part of our
we would
movement.
not be here right now.
We would not be here right now.
And the revolution would have started. I do kind of think it's still going to happen. But the problem is half the world is ready to be like, oh, yeah, the Bible's a book and it's kind of crazy. And the other half is like, no, we got to hold on to it. We got to hold on to it or just like getting introduced to it. Because the world
Christian nationalism here.
Well, and so it's just like their fear, and they're like, "Oh no, this is what I'm supposed to be doing." They've never been religious, and they got pulled in. It's even worse now because they're like doubling down on this is the word,
yeah,
and it's real,
and they're mixing it up with and it's for white people, and you're like, where on earth did you get this shit?
Yeah, it's crazy.
So they have this whole convention. They say they
they fought it out.
They fought it out. So
I love though. But see, so Elizabeth wrote this out, and it's probably petty, but I love it about it.
What'd she say?
She named all the people that supported her.
Yes.
She's like, these people stood up and said she's right. So Elizabeth didn't even go. Remember?
That's right. That's right.
This is a convention that she and Susan B. Anthony really. They met at, they were like leaders, and she didn't even go.
Was she sick? I thought I saw that somewhere, that she actually was like, or maybe, who knows, maybe it was one of those things like, was she quote unquote sick?
Yeah, I'm sick of these
shit?
ladies.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not going to go sit there. I've heard them. They've wrote me letters. They've wined their wines.
Yes. And so in the appendix where she's writing this out, so there's a whole paragraph of names So
I'm sure it was like a whole day of like, you're crazy. Like, listen, ladies, listen to what we've gained. Listen to how this is affecting us. So, I mean, how many names are listed here?
Frances A. Williamson, Helen Morris Lewis, Annie L. Diggs, Carrie Chapman Catt, Rachel Forrester Avery, Henry B. Blackwell, Laura M. Johns, Elizabeth U. Yates, Katie R. Addison, Alice Stone Blackwell, and Reverend Anna Howard Shaw speaking for the resolution.
Oh, speaking for. They were for it.
Yeah.
So now the against.
Here's our shit list. Do you want to read the shit list?
No, that was the shit list because they wanted the resolution.
See, I get the
This is and this is the good list because they spoke against it.
Oh.
Charlotte Perkins.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Charlotte Perkins Stetson.
Okay, yes.
Oh, I wonder if she made the hats. Just kidding. Side note. Mary Bentley, Thomas J.B. Merwin, Clara B. Colby, Harriet A. Kaiser, Lavina A. Hatch, Lily Devereaux Blake.
Woo!
Whoop, whoop, whoop. She's in the book.
Mm-hmm.
Caroline Hallowell Miller. Ooh, a Miller. I was a Miller.
Yeah.
By choice. Victoria Conkling Whitney, Althea B. Stryker, and Cornelia H. Carey speaking against it. So those are just the people that spoke.
Yes. So, and this is before we get into Susan B. Anthony, who gives this great speech. Charlotte Perkins Stetson. This is who I looked up, and she was a very interesting lady. Let me say where I'm like, she's so interesting. I have to look at notes to tell you about her. So she had like kind of a really rough upbringing. And she's been inducted into the National Women's Hall of Fame.
Really?
Yeah, I should have done a better job of it.
I didn't even know we had one.
I didn't either. We have to look that up.
Where is that? Is there a museum?
But it says here, so she was an American humanist, novelist, writer, lecturer, early sociologist, advocate for social reform, and she was a eugenicist.
What is?
Oh.
What?
Yeah, weird. I didn't know that. But she was a utopian feminist and served as a role model for future generations of feminists because of her unorthodox concepts and lifestyle. Speaking of, that's what she did have a lady lover. So the other cool fact is, so she went to the Rhode Island School of Design, which is a really interesting thing to do. Like she came, like I said, really rough upbringing. I don't have all the details of that. I'll put it in the show notes. But she met Martha Luther at about 1879 and was believed to be in a romantic relationship with her.
Ooh, I like that.
Yes.
Back in the day.
There's like a biography about her that contains letters between the two women, and it chronicles their lives from 1883 to 1889 and contains over 50 letters, including correspondence, illustrations, and manuscripts. They pursued the relationship until Luther ended the relationship in order to marry a man. In 1881, Gilman was devastated and detested romance and love until she met her first husband.
And she also married a husband.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
I bet that you have to remember, though, getting married might have been the only way to secure. Yeah.
Financially.
Mm-hmm. Even though, and it says here, this is cool, she made money. So Gilman, she supported herself by selling soap door to door.
Okay.
And she also painted trade cards, which were little advertising cards. That's how they used to advertise. And that's how she supported herself. So maybe she was like, I gotta stop with all this hustling and just, get to a man.
Get a man, I can relax.
Yes. And the other tidbit, this is where I'm like, this is so Victorian. I fucking love it. So in 1932, Gilman was diagnosed with incurable breast cancer, an advocate of euthanasia for the terminally ill.
Oh, we even
She did. She took an overdose of chloroform. In both her autobiography and suicide note, she wrote that she chose chloroform over cancer.
Oh my, that is so progressive.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah. I don't want to suffer.
And then the other I know that I'm going on about her, but this is what I'm like, this is what I'm talking about, listeners. These women, their lives were
fascinating.
So she did all this, and she has this book of poetry, which we will read you a poem at the end of the episode, maybe.
Yeah.
So she's a great writer. She's an artist.
She had a lost love.
She had a lost love. She was very free with her love. She was in love with a woman. Good for her. In addition to publishing poems, she published 6 significant books of nonfiction, a contribution which led her to be seen as one of the women founders of sociology.
Wow. Well, that's huge.
I know.
What are we doing?
I know. That's why I was like, I'll be like, I made a zine.
Woo! I created a whole area of science. What?
I know.
And wrote poetry.
Yeah.
I
know. And so
we got to do more.
So just that tangent on Charlotte, that's why we're like, we need to, I think it would be fun to do, and I could do even more. That's one
woman.
person. And the reason
all the women at this thing were like that, both for and against
for real.
the resolution.
Yeah, even the ones that were against it. I'm telling you, if I looked up Frances, or that was for the resolution, Frances Williamson, great, very interesting gal.
Yeah.
Like
so
tons.
she's a suffragist.
Yeah.
It's not like they weren't doing good things, but
Right.
But this resolution was shit.
Right. And so Charlotte
And petty.
I know. I wish I knew what they were thinking. I guess it still was radical to call out the Bible.
Yeah. I mean, it is now
For a
still.
broad, well, it is now, yeah.
It is now. But more people are doing it.
But back then, even like we said, like Thomas Jefferson cut up a Bible.
Yeah.
It was kind of a hip. People were like, wait a minute.
Some of the stuff
What is this
wacky.
stuff? The reason that I singled out Charlotte, because at the convention, she moved to amend by striking out everything after the word opinion. Mm-hmm, She's like, hey, we can say that this association is non-sectarian, being composed of persons of all shades of religious opinion, period.
That would be perfect. That's all you needed.
Yeah. Why do you got to have such a bitchy,
Petty.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they were going after Elizabeth. And actually, so I had said I saw Ken Burns' special on Elizabeth Cady Stanton. And he didn't go into detail about this, but they did say that they had the split over this convention and the Bible. I thought the way that it was presented that Susan just took the side of the ladies, but no. Thanks to this appendix, she was a good friend. So
Ken Burns is an idiot.
Ken Burns.
just
No,
kidding.
he's not. I wish he would have included her support of Elizabeth.
Right. Especially because this is why that's interesting, because even though, like I said, I love Ken, but if you have a man make a documentary about this women's movement and not expand on which might have been one of the most important splits.
Yeah.
To like really expand on what that means, like if they were able to take down, all this like man Bible stuff, everything would be different. Everything would be different.
And these were besties. They changed the world, really. I mean, and then this split happened, and they had to decide: am I going to go with these young ladies,
right,
or am I going to stick true to my guns, which is saying the Bible is the reason that we're having this fight? And I think Susan thought, no, we'll get them to switch. And she did try.
She did try. And that's what this, do you want to read what? I like this part. Every new generation of converts threshes over the same old straw. 25 years ago, a prominent woman who stood on our platform for the first time wanted us to pass a resolution that we were not free lovers. And I was not more shocked than I am today at this attempt. The question is whether you will sit in judgment on one who has questioned the divine inspiration of certain passages in the Bible derogatory to women. If she had written approvingly of these passages, you would not have brought in this resolution because you thought the cause might be injured among the liberals in religion. In other words, if she had written your views, you would not have considered a resolution necessary. To pass this one is to set back the hands on the dial of reform. It is the reviving of the old-time censorship, which I'd hoped we had outgrown.
Woo, 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 woo! I wonder if they hooted.
Oh, I wonder what the ladies did back then.
I wonder
you
what
can't
they
tell
did.
me that they weren't rowdy.
Oh, my, well, I bet it was like heated debate. I mean, think about...
They said, maybe it was someplace else that I read, but they said it was like a long debate. Well, actually, Elizabeth says right here, it was followed by a long animated discussion. Because Charlotte Perkins, she made a motion to eliminate everything after the word opinion. Anna R. Simmons moved as an amendment to the amendment to omit the words, the so-called women's Bible.
I mean, to even write it that way is like ridiculous.
Oh, I know.
No, it's literally called the Woman's Bible. That's the title. It's not so-called. And you obviously didn't read it because it's just, and that's what Susan's like. She just took the passages that are oppressing us, that are ridiculous, with the plenary inspiration of the Bible, saying, like the Bible is inspired by it. It's just not.
Yeah. You're like,
it's been corrupted by men. And they knew that then. Most of the women there knew that. But they're like, people won't like it.
Yeah.
Who cares?
If we know, here's the reason, again, that the Cheeto is in charge, because they had people like Bannon, and they know this stuff. You don't try to wonder what people will like.
Yeah.
You tell them what they're going to like.
True story.
It's true.
It is
I
true.
mean, in general. So, read some, the whole, we'll have to read the whole last paragraph too,
Yeah.
but go for it.
What you should do is say to outsiders that a Christian has neither more nor less rights in our association than an atheist. When our platform becomes too narrow for people of all creeds and of no creeds, I myself shall not stand upon it. Whew. She's like the founder of it.
Yeah.
And she's like, dude, you're narrowing us. Many things have been said and done by our Orthodox friends that I have felt to be extremely harmful to our cause. But I should no more consent to a resolution denouncing them than I shall consent to this.
Who is to draw the line? Susan B.
Yeah. And mind you, this is her friend. So I'm sure it was very emotional. Probably the only friend that she really had because she traveled alone. And like they were like,
Yeah.
they were confidants and equals intellectually.
Did that
I think it was heartbreaking for her.
And did that documentary talk about Susan B. having a little stage fright?
Yeah, she did.
Because that's what I talked about in our last episode.
Yeah.
That she was like, I would love to be possessed by a spirit so I can speak.
Yes. I was like, well,
Yes.
yeah, like I could just speak my mind without having to write it out.
Yeah,
so like
so-
this was probably, she was just probably like so like, oh, I can't believe you're doing this. Like you're basically attacking my best friend and her work in front of me who founded you.
Right.
What the hell?
Right. She's like, listen, young ladies, and I like this. Who can tell now whether Miss Stanton's commentaries may not prove a great help to women's emancipation from old superstitions that have barred her away? Who can tell? Lucretia Mott at first thought Miss Stanton had injured the cause of all women's other rights by insisting upon the demand for suffrage, but she had sense enough not to bring in a resolution against it. In 1860, when Miss Stanton made a speech before the New York legislature in favor of a bill making drunkenness a cause for divorce, there was a general cry among the Friends that she had killed the women's cause. I shall be pained beyond expression if the delegates here are so narrow and illiberal as to adopt this resolution. You would better not begin resolving against individual action, or you will find no limit. Ladies, this year it is Miss Stanton. Next year it may be me or one of yourselves who will be the victim.
Amen, sister.
Ooh.
But I can't believe they didn't listen to her because I'm like, I mean, if I was there and Elizabeth Cady Stanton, she had been fighting for just like basic, like being able to divorce your husband who's beating the shit out of you.
Yeah.
She didn't come to the Bible until she had been fighting and it kept getting thrown in her face. How do you not respect your elder
Exactly.
in women's rights? It's unconscionable.
She's like, Elizabeth didn't just come up with this because, she's like, this comes from her having so much trouble getting these other things, going, secured.
All right, here's the end.
All right, do it, girl.
Are you going to cater to the whims and prejudice of people who have no intelligent knowledge of what they condemn? If we do not inspire in women a broad and Catholic spirit, they will fail when enfranchised to constitute the power for better government which we have always claimed for them. You would better educate 10 women into practice of liberal principles than to organize 10,000 on a platform of intolerance and bigotry. I pray you vote for religious liberty without censorship or inquisition.
Ooh.
This resolution adopted will be a vote of censure upon a woman who is without a peer in an intellectual and statesmanlike ability, one who has stood for half a century, the acknowledged leader of progressive thought and demand in regard to all matters pertaining to the absolute freedom of women.
Oh my God.
Assholes.
I like that the asshole. I also, though, I just got chills because I'm like, and this is what, you've already said it, but like, so this is about women's liberation and about the friendship. Like, she did that
For her friend.
for her friend. And just out of like respect for her friends.
She's like, how dare you? How dare you?
It's amazing. How come I've never seen this before?
I know, because this is like amazing. And it should be a
It's
movie.
amazing.
They did that movie 1776 with all the men.
I was going to say,
This is like...
I've heard speeches and historic speeches and movies from dudes. I'm like, okay, cool. But these, and especially because these women, they are up against it, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you see like old white dudes talking and fighting for something, like, come on. No one's like, they're not getting persecuted just for existing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And then there's 2 sentences at the very, very end of this appendix. It says the resolution was then adopted by a vote of 53 to 41. So that was a major split. Then Elizabeth quotes John 8, verse 32, the truth shall make you free.
Yeah.
The end.
That's it. I mean,
woo! That's sassy how she set that up. She's
Yeah.
like, here are the people that voted against me.
here's your names.
Here's your names.
In my book. That's a bestseller.
That women will be reading 130 years from now. Mm-hmm. I mean, it would have been...
May you go down in it. And those ladies stood with catty.
Well, they're just afraid, right?
Afraid. The way that it was written, though, was like really attack worthy, I think, on Elizabeth
The so-called.
Cady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
I feel it was,
Yeah,
I
you're
feel
right.
it was like really poking the bear.
I bet, because we know people are multifaceted, they contain multitudes, I bet there were some legitimate, the new suffragists were concerned about with, Stanton and Susan B. Anthony. Because think about it. Mm-hmm. They probably did have some, like, insights and whatever. I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know.
They were not ready to get that radical, though. But we see this right now.
Yeah.
But we see this right now. What happens is people will do really radical things. And then the younger generations just see things work out and think that no effort was involved. So they're like, we don't need to like do all that or whatever.
Why would you want to ruffle all those feathers when we just want the right to vote?
Exactly. But they're not listening to the women that have been.
Yeah, the people in the trenches. Same thing's happening in education.
Yeah.
They're like, this isn't working. How about you listen to the people that are working it?
Exactly.
Instead of buying some shit that not going to help.
And I did not know about this before I was telling Joanne about it. There is a book that was published in 2018 by Kathy Kern, and it's called Ms. Stanton's Bible. And apparently it's about the impact of this, of the religious dissent in the women's movement. And it talks about how, so right there, the speech that we just read and that vote that just happened, what that essentially did was really conservatize. I just made that up. Is that a word?
Like it.
I don't know.
It is. Make it conservative.
The women's movement. And so it really changed a lot of things because a lot of the more radical and progressive people that were willing to take on, the entire church.
Yeah.
They, eventually they kind of got swept under the rug and they did a much more conservative women's movement, which is, they aligned themselves with temperance and
here we are today.
So that book sounds really interesting.
That does sound interesting.
I requested it from the library, but that is called Ms. Stanton's Bible.
Ooh. And that's a recent. 2018.
Yeah. I want to see if Kathy is somebody we could reach out to. Kathy Kern. Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah.
I'm just really fascinated by that. I just want to see that whole convention. I want to know what happened. And it makes me proud, also a little jealous because here's my question. What's the equivalent going on right now for women? Like where are the rooms of women giving just like badass speeches and arguing over like serious, intellectual, progressive topics?
Yeah. I mean, I think Lilith Fair was like going that route.
Oh yeah. You know what? I almost laughed, not because I think but I was like, oh yeah, that was yeah.
Yeah. That was like
I haven't seen that documentary.
That was a woman empowerment. And then it just got same thing. Like goes to the ground. I don't know why.
Yeah. Oh, which, by the way,
Oh, yeah.
it should either be one of our next episodes. We're going to go back and we're going to interview Corey and Rye.
Yes.
Corey works with us on the studio, and Rye's been our editor, producer, editor. But oh my gosh, this is so exciting. She's starting a podcast that is about Lilith Fair.
Yeah, music.
But she is a musician, a super talented one. And she was saying that people don't appreciate enough how many female musicians the Lilith Fair gave exposure to. Even just hearing her talk about it, I was getting so pumped up. I was like, I always thought it was cool. I didn't even think about it that way. Each place where they would go, they had a certain number of local musicians that they would, support. Oh my God, it's great.
And start their career.
Yes.
Yeah, real women empowerment.
Yeah. And Rye went to Lilith Fair when she was younger. So anyways, that's going to be cool. And it changed her. So, hopefully we gave you lots to think about.
Oh, man. Yeah,
I don't know. Or did you just rage?
No, but I think that ending was so key to explaining what was happening at that time. People weren't ready. But damn it, if they would have been, where would we be now? Mm-hmm. If they would have been ready to tackle the beast, which is the Bible, where would we be now 100 years later? But I think people are tackling it now. Even priests and things, they're saying, come on, guys, obviously people wrote this. They weren't directly hanging out with Jesus the man. So we can still be, not everybody's religious, not everybody believes in it, but if you do, there's a church that can be rational and say, okay, Jesus was a good dude, he's got good lessons. Some of the stuff is crazy and shouldn't be in there and shouldn't be taken and shouldn't be presented as this came from the Lord, right? So even churches are saying it.
Right.
Well, because they have to, because the human rights attacks are off the chain.
Exactly.
But it would be nice to see every church doing that, but we're not seeing that. We're seeing them double down, lockdown.
Right.
So we're still I can't get over the 50-40.
I know.
And then even that vote, 50-40.
I know.
What is wrong with humans?
Well, it does seem like it was a move to get broader consensus for the vote, suffrage. So it's almost like there were probably people that were looking at that alone, being like, we really cannot even risk losing the Christians. We're going to need them so we can get women's suffrage.
But so I'm going to tie that to the Democrats going, well, I guess we have been just too, much on, human rights and making sure that, LGBTQ and trans people are okay. And we should come more centered. No.
I know.
No, we already did that.
I know. Well, and it's, I would never be like, and the right to vote is whatever. But it's very similar to how was it second wave feminism where we got more into the workplace. But it's also if you don't cut out the root, the only thing that us getting into the workplace and getting bank accounts did was make us really good consumers.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding.
Yeah, I know.
That's, in fact, we surpass men at consuming and stuff.
It's a problem.
And all you're really doing, even if you're trying to argue for the right to vote, all you're really doing is asking, can I come in that room where men get to be? And that's not liberation.
No.
So.
And that's what Elizabeth's that's fine, but no, it's not enough.
Right.
Because you're still not, and it's true.
How good is the vote? Right now we voted for representatives. What the fuck are they doing right now?
Not a damn thing.
For real.
They're not listening.
They're not even working.
They're actually sending snide letters back going, I know you wanted this, but this is what I voted for, and this is why it's great.
Fuck you, Tom. What's his name?
Barrett.
Ugh. Fuck you, Tom Barrett.
Loser.
But that's why, so we see all these points in history where people are too afraid to go radical. But I'm either you do it or you don't. You're always going to end up right back here.
You got to go radical.
Go
radical, don't go at all.
That's right.
Go radical or stay home and make a chicken pot pie. All right, ladies, let's rule the world.
Yeah. We hope you've enjoyed this appendix. So tell us if you think that we oversold it, if we're not selling it enough. I want to know what you think. And I want to know if anybody has special knowledge about, because, every feminist historian has that one part that they're like, this was the
and you go
thing that I
go on
became
the
obsessed
deep dives,
with. Yeah.
The deep dives.
So speaking of radical, we're going to close this episode out with a poem from, this is our gal,
Charlotte Perkins Stetson.
Yes.
Oh, it's called In This Our World, a book of poems.
And this is available, I think, in the Gutenberg Project or, because it's public domain. And now a poetry reading.
The Rock and the Sea. The Rock. I am the rock, presumptuous sea. I am set to encounter thee, angry and loud or gentle and still. I am set here to limit thy power, and I will. I am the rock. I am the rock from age to age. I scorn thy fury and dare thy rage. Seared by frost and worn by time, brown with weed and green with slime. Face, thou mayest drench and defile me and spit in my face, but while I am here, thou keepest thy place. I am the rock. I am the rock, beguiling sea. I know thou art fair as fair can be, with golden glitter and silver sheen, and bosom of blue and garments of green. Thou mayest pat my cheek with baby bands, and lap my feet in diamond sands, and play before me as children play. But plead as thou wilt, I bar the way. I am the rock.
Be the rock, people.
Be the rock.
Be the rock. Let us know what you think. Share, like, and we'll be back with some other super cool Victorian ladies to tell you about.
Yes, some good letters and interesting facts.
That's right.
And maybe some more pop rocks.
Bye! Send them out with pop rocks. Send them out. Oh, it sounds like they're cheering for us.